Hi guys. Said I'd get on early, see who's available, see what you guys think. See if I can invite some folks here. Let's share this out. Hey, Mayor. Just hoping some other folks will show up from the app. Let's see. Let's copy link here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna share this. Yes, you finally beat Dom. It's true. So, okie dokie. I just hit the app. Yeah, that was. Hey, Swamp. Welcome. I'm gonna share this in one more spot. Hold on a second. There we go. Alright, all better. So, picked some interesting topics for the day, and I just want to make a correction to the grill that I was recommending. It is the volcano grill, not the lava grill, that takes three fuels. It takes natural gas, it takes wood, and it takes charcoal. So volcanogrill.com, not lava grill. Hey, David. So I picked three interesting topics for today. Peter Strzrok, I don't think anybody's surprised. He got fired very recently. And so that's not surprising since when I did my stream a while back that Peter Strzok was a bad dude and then he was going to get fired. Hey, Sergeant Peterson. I had a feeling Peter Strzok was going to get fired. It was just a matter of time. What does surprise me is he's started a GoFundMe page. Go figure. Because evidently he claims he's not a big time government official that can get funding. Well, I bet if he reached out to some of his high value friends that have left the previous administration, I bet they'd hook him up with a job. Why he's going the GoFundMe route? Well, that's just one of those things. Hey, B West, David, Andrew, Sergeant Peterson. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you showing up. So the whole Peter Strzok story, not a surprise. Not surprised at all. He got fired and he got what's coming to him. If he just would have owned it, that yeah, I was biased against the Trump administration, he probably would have gotten off a whole lot better. But that's what you get for a lack of integrity and honesty. Hey, Steve. Good to see ya. So I was just covering the Peter Strzok firing. That I don't know if anybody realized the dude's got a GoFundMe account now. So yeah, I don't get it. You got fired. Find a real job. Just get over yourself and find a real job. That's what he needs to do. The second story, which I found on Fox News and Drudge Report, in case you want to check my sources, um, a pilot in Utah decided he was mad at his wife. Oh, yeah, the GoFundMe. That's Peter Strzok, Steve. Yeah, Peter Strzok. I know, right? Um, the husband had recently been incarcerated for domestic violence. As soon as he was released from jail, turned right around, went to the airport, got on a plane, took off, flew to his house, and crashed the plane in his front yard. Meanwhile, his son and his wife walked out the back door without any injuries. And yet it incinerated his house because the fire department couldn't get there fast enough to put out that aircraft fuel that had essentially gotten into his house and incinerated his house. So essentially, this guy committed suicide by crashing an airplane into his front yard in Utah very recently. So, wow. Yeah, does insurance cover that? I don't know. I don't remember Geico or any of those other companies claiming, should one of your loved ones crash an airplane into the front of your house, yeah, we cover that. I don't think that's on their list of things that can be claimed. Yeah, Sergeant Peterson. Yeah, especially if your house. Yeah, I didn't see that in my writer that your significant other crashed their airplane into the front of your house. More of the crazy news of the day. If any of you have driven Interstate 5 north of Sacramento, it gets, it's out in the country. Hey, B West. The funny thing about that is these two vehicles crashed into one another. Okay, no big deal. So you've had a crash, not a problem. Where it turned into a problem is one fella got out and beat the other one to death. And after he had beaten the other guy to death, he walked into traffic. And the other guy was struck by a car, an oncoming car, and killed. So now you have two cars that were on Interstate 5, both drivers killed at the scene. One guy beat the other guy to death, and the other guy got hit by a car. The state trooper was like, yeah, we get that all the time where there's some violence after an accident and you just wait for law enforcement to show up. But that's a first. That officer was like, yeah, that doesn't really happen, that two competing drivers get into a fight. One beats the other one to death and the other one walks into traffic and is struck and killed. So that's the wacky news of today that we had on Drudge Report, as well as Fox News. It's a crazy world out there. You got to be careful. Another story that I didn't mention in the description was a 47-year-old man in Florida who had come out of a store after a fella got into a fight over a handicapped parking spot. So the way this situation plays out is, it's cool, Sergeant Peterson. Go do what you got to do. Thanks for the like. Appreciate it. Hey, Boulder. Yeah, no kidding, right? The funny thing about this situation, hey Josh, thank you, appreciate it, is the fact that in this Florida situation, a 47-year-old driver is charged with manslaughter because he left a store. There was a fight over a handicapped parking spot. A lady and her kids, she had parked in a handicapped spot. Hey, Armenian. And this other gentleman tried to protest it. So the fella that shot the guy was coming out of a store with his son, got into a scuffle with the other guy, got pushed to the ground, violently pushed to the ground, and when he got pushed to the ground, he pulled a gun and shot the guy in the chest. Well, that led to the other guy dying at the scene, which ended up being charged with manslaughter. Well, there's more to this situation. This very guy in the article that's charged with manslaughter, evidently he had two previous road rage incidents where he had pulled a firearm on other people. Yeah, so the whole stand your ground law in Florida is going to be challenged. It is definitely going to be challenged in that case because the whole Trayvon Martin situation, this other guy that shot another guy because he was defending himself over a parking spot. I don't think that's really a worthy situation that you should be standing your ground. Oh yeah, David, people are losing their ever-loving minds. It's true. People have lost it. The truth is not being spoken anymore. Mayor, it's true. It's just hey, Kodiak, hey, welcome. Glad you all are here. It just makes it so much more fun when you guys are all here. So we have the California I-5 incident where that might as well have been a Darwin situation. You know, equal justice happened. One guy beats up and kills another guy, and the other guy gets hit by a car. Shocking. The plane crash, well, that reminds me of the whole Seattle situation with the guy that stole the plane. I mean, you get a maintenance worker that can steal a plane and go crash it on an island in Puget Sound. Nobody on board. And yet you have a man that was released from custody in Utah for domestic violence that turns right around, drives to the airport upon release from jail, and crashes his airplane into the front of his house, trying to kill his wife and child, or teenage son for that matter. So that's two plane crashes in about 3 or 4 days. That's some pretty wacky news right there. The domestic violence husband, I don't know what got into his. Well, I guess we're lucky he didn't go to the house with firearms and shoot his family. I guess him crashing the airplane, at least the mom and son were able to walk away. I mean, you gotta look at the potential outcomes there. And this whole Peter Strzok thing, what is I don't understand. It used to be that government service you served with pride, you did the honorable thing. If you were in the wrong, you stepped down and you left. Uh, Now you're being ousted for inappropriate behavior, being prejudicial to the government in which you serve. They're not supposed to have an opinion as a government servant, especially when you are nonpartisan. That's supposed to be a thing. Sure, you can do something at the ballot box, but you're not supposed to voice your opinion when it comes to your official duties. It applies to the military as well. It's part of their. Hi, Felix. It's part of their ethics. They're required to maintain their ethics. Hey, Chris James. What's going on, guys? Glad to have you. So, really, that's like three completely wacky articles. Two of them today, and the other one from last Friday. It's a crazy world, guys. You gotta be ready. You gotta know what's going on. This whole situational awareness that I keep harping on, it's a big deal because you don't know if the folks in front of you have their wits about you. Yeah, Andrew, it's a good thing to it's a good thing to think about. Chris James, that's it's true. It's true. He did manage to get what was coming to him. Thanks, Kodiak. I appreciate you sharing it. That's great. You gotta maintain your wits. And for those of you that came in late, I have a correction. I had to look up the grill that I was talking about when I was building the um, bug in bag. It's a volcano grill, not a lava grill. So volcano.com is where I found my three fuel grill, which runs on natural gas, wood, and charcoal. Yeah, Mayor, I totally get it. This whole Alex Jones things, guys, it's crazy. It is so crazy that he's not the only one. Look, I mean, Gavin McGinnis really didn't do anything wrong in his tweets. Immediately targeted, immediately banned. Doesn't make sense. But out of these articles that I've mentioned, none of this makes sense. Oh, Mayor, yeah, they're just waiting for their opportunity for somebody to say something crazy, and they're just taking people out left and right. Oh, Kodiak, what happened on I-5 was two drivers just north of Sacramento got into a vehicle crash. Both drivers got out. They started fighting. One guy beat the other driver to death. Meanwhile, that driver walks into the road after the fight and got hit by a car and killed instantly. So both of those drivers from that situation got killed over a collision. That's completely nuts. And what's the likelihood one of those folks was texting and the other one got mad and then there was a collision and then it just turned into, oh, absolutely, Kodiak, but you missed it with the article I was talking about in Florida where somebody was armed. There was a fight over a handicapped parking spot. One guy got shoved to the ground, shot the other guy in the chest, killed him, and now he's charged with manslaughter. It's completely crazy. Thanks, Swamp. I appreciate you coming by. It's getting nuts out there. Completely. We gotta you gotta have your head on a swivel. As it was mentioned in the military, you gotta know what's going on around you. Because crazy town is around us right now. It is absolutely crazy. I added another pistol to my arsenal recently because you never know. You got to have what you need to defend yourself. Yeah, the guy totally handled the situation wrong, Chris. You're totally right. Even if you're shoved to the ground, you it's not worth standing your ground over. It's a handicap parking spot. So now the guy's being held on $100,000 bond for manslaughter. Right. Exactly, Mayor. You only escalate force with force. You don't immediately pull your self defense out and you know escalate it. That's not how this works. The guy very easily could have gotten him for assault. Just for being shoved to the ground, could have had him charged with assault. Situation over. But it got right. Chill if your head's getting pounded, and the minute the guy has started bringing more force than you can bear, exactly, Kodiak. If they're bringing more force than you can handle, then it's time to escalate. But until then, you hold off on that until you're absolutely sure when the cops show up that you have a justifiable self-defense. Yeah, exactly, David. Once you're old enough, you realize you don't want to go to jail. Yeah, strange sounds like Bruce Lee when you busted into your ninjutsu sounds. Oh, I'm sure that would be hysterical in a fight type situation. If you bust into making karate sounds, I'm sure somebody would not want to escalate it any further to find out how crazy you really are. Chill. It's good to see you. Oh, yeah, totally, Chris. It's not worth it, is it? Well, Jude, that's as long as you're willing to accept the consequences for defending yourself. If you know, if you're willing to go down for manslaughter because you know, SJW karate, that's funny. Yeah, you got to be willing to accept the consequences of using force. Because otherwise, if they're found to be justified in what they used and you're not, then you're now the perpetrator. Not a good situation to be in when they get the upper hand when it comes to law enforcement. So, just stuff to think about. So, let's start wrapping this up. Make sure you maintain your situational awareness. That means if you see somebody around you texting while you're driving down the road and they're texting and driving down the road, maintain your distance because the chances are they're not just going to cause an accident with themselves, they're going to take you with them. So, keep your distance if you see somebody texting on the road. It's 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 totally not. Well, Chris, I unless you guys want to talk more, I'm here. Oh, that man was harassing the wife who didn't even park the vehicle. Yeah, it's true. I mean, if he's defending his wife, that's one thing. But it's totally different if you're taking it farther than it needed to be. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button on the way out. Share this. I appreciate your hanging out. Yeah, I would have shoved the guy back. Totally. That's you stand up for yourself. And if it escalates, you do what you got to do. So with that, know your rights when it comes to the Second Amendment. Know your appropriate use of force. What's appropriate and what's not. Come to find out that, hey, Big Drum Bear, state of Washington is not a castle doctrine state. So my use of force, I have to judge accordingly. I have to be appropriate with my use of force. Make sure you know laws for your state as far as that goes. No, it's not a cockatiel in the background. That is my. That's when Twitter is hitting me up. Yeah, how to cover? Exactly. Hey, Laughing Bear. Big Drum. Yeah, Big Drum. Great stream this morning. That was awesome, dude. See you later, Chris. I hope some of you caught Steve Pinder's stream today. Good stuff. I don't know when Dom's gonna stream. He keeps making promises, but I haven't seen him show up. Field of Bears, don't know when that guy's gonna stream next, but he's got some good stuff. Check him out. If you want to throw a donation my way just to kind of help me out a little bit, help support get the ducks some food. The ducks could always use more treats, so hit me up on my PayPal, www.paypal.me/veteranbear, because the ducks and the chickens love treats, and if you guys want to support them, they'll appreciate it. Make sure we uphold our First Amendment rights. Recently on the radio here in Seattle, Mayor, you don't make a fool of yourself, my friend. You do good streams and you play good guitar. I love your streams. So yes, check out Mayor. He's got good stuff. Subscribe to all these guys because you don't want to miss out on some good stuff. Well, anyway, yeah, 1393 in the state of Washington is a gun banning bill, which they did all their petitions inappropriately, and it still managed to get on the ballot. Yeah, yeah. Steve is still doing his Tuesday and Thursdays evening streams, is from what I understand. So, as far as this gun banning bill, they're trying. It is so convoluted. Recently found out when they tried to determine the cost of the bill, those that audited and tried to figure out what the cost would be to the public, they couldn't do it. The bill is so messed up, claiming that it doesn't violate HIPAA rules, that it doesn't provide clear guidance as far as proper storage of firearms in your house. It doesn't say after use or what, so it's very vague. They also in this bill are suggesting that you got to know what they're thinking as far as proper storage, what a proper storage container is, and all that. So the push is on to get this bill to fail. So in your other states, make sure you're watching the news. Keep an eye on what they're doing to take away our Second Amendment rights. If we're not keeping an eye on it, it'll sneak past us. They'll sneak something in November, and at various times they'll put down some of these ballot measures and you won't even know what they say. Yeah, shall not be infringed means that they shall not infringe. Cannot be taken away, modified. And yet they've taken that to the nth degree that they don't care. They're just trying to take away. And if they take away the second and water down the Second Amendment to a certain degree, you don't have First Amendment rights. Freedom of assembly, that's going to go away. Freedom of the press is already an issue that we're seeing challenged, because what happens when certain groups own the press? Then guess what? Our ability to speak freely and get actual conversation happening if you can't get the issues out there. So that's what I got, you guys. Four crazy news stories. What a crazy day we've had, and it's only Monday. So, with that, I appreciate everybody coming by. Thanks for... Yeah, Mayor, we appreciate you streaming. Keep doing it. Keep doing it, my friend. It's always worth it to put forth the effort, because we're going to support you. So please like this, share it, support other bears, and you guys have a great night. Thanks for dropping by.